Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Let It Die. Now this is going to be a quick episode aside. I'm going to be on the 1 to 10 floors again. I've done a bit of exploring, a bit of gathering and collecting, and leveling up my second starfighters, replacing the 1 starfighters with 2 starfighters. Purchasing decals and getting everything sorted out. Leveling weapon mastery. Now I found a new weapon, well, a couple of new weapons. I've got the Kamas assault rifle. I found that from some haters, 2-star haters you come across have the Kamas now. So the main thing I'll be doing in this episode is showing off a couple of quests that are important to pick up. Now let's have a look at the Underworld Rolodex quest list. I've picked up a couple of action limit quests, element limits, and skill limits. Those are basically just special challenges that you can pick up, but it's important to pick them up every now and then when you see their reward being a death medal. So this is a good way of collecting death medals without purchasing them from the online store. So they'll usually ask you to climb from a certain specific floor to another. This means going to that floor and clearing all the enemies, and then no longer taking elevators from that point onwards, but continuing to climb until you reach the other floor they designate, and clearing all the enemies. Let's see. Climb from using no skill, defeating all enemies. Okay, so you have to defeat all of the enemies on each floor you pass. So the floor they ask you to start on, defeat all enemies. Every floor you pass, defeat all enemies. And of course, the final floor they mention, also defeat all enemies. So we'll be doing 2 quests today, just to show it off, how the limitation system works. Now you also find quests to defeat enemies with certain elements, and those are not too difficult to complete because they have no fail state. You just go ahead and defeat enemies using, for instance, a pierce type weapon, and the quest will eventually complete without being able to fail. So a quest we'll be doing now is defeating all the enemies from going from a specific floor to another using only blunt type weapons. So I'll go ahead and equip only blunt type weapons so you don't make the mistake of using non-blunt weapons. Alright. I've also been upgrading a bunch of 1 to 10 weapons. So I'll purchase a red hot iron and a metal bat A, an iron hammer. These are all blunt weapons. Also, I'm going to show off an easy way to complete the quests to get 10 perfect guards using the red hot iron. So the quest we'll be doing is going to be, let's see, defeating all enemies without throwing, not going to do that. Here. Climb from Jotunjima to moka-magome with a blunt weapon, defeating all enemies. We'll be doing that quest. It's an element limit for blunt damage weapons. Now you also have action limits, which tell you not to do a specific thing. Sometimes it's blocking, guarding, dodging. Sometimes, yeah, it can be this and that. So you usually just follow the prescription, don't do what they tell you not to do. Some of them are without skill decals, this quest is climb from floor 1 to floor 10 without using skill decals. In cases like that, I'd say the best way to complete the quest is to aim for floors which skip a large amount of floors. So you could go to Wanoki, Kami Ikadoi, Hyokudori, and then this undiscovered floor, possibly. Or you could go to moka-magome, Daneda. Yeah, gotta wait for a good time to see floors on the side where you can skip a good distance. Okay, let's go. So we're going to floors Jotunjima. Oh yeah, there it is. So we're going to floor 4, climbing to Jotunjima, purple up. Ding! Okay, go ahead and select our weapon of choice. Now we're not on the floor that requires us to defeat enemies with only blunts, but we've equipped only blunt weapons, so we shouldn't really worry about it. Excuse me. Now we've also got a couple of quests demanding that we defeat screamers, so those will just complete on the side as well. Okay, so these are the type of enemies we'll be looking to go up against while on the Get 10 Perfect Guards quest. So the quest, one moment, the quest is, the quest list, and here it is. Perfect Guard, Quest 1. Perform 10 perfect guards in a row, and you get 1 death medal for that. So the reason we're hunting death medals is to increase our storage space. So we've got the iron, we've increased its mastery to level 6 by defeating enemies, and now we just wait for them to attack, press the guard button, no proper timing required. Now the reason the scratch tubers are a good option to do this on is because most of their attacks are predictable and relatively slow. Except that one. Gotta watch out for the quick jab. Ooh, close one. We did it. I'll take him out. Special weapon number 4. Let's see. Special weapon 4. Defeat 5 enemies in a row using the iron. Okay. So we're looking for purple up. There we go. I believe that's the quest for 5 in a row with the iron completed. Looking for purple up. We can sprint for a good distance because we have a splinter decal equipped. Oh boy. Quite the impressive size of floor we have. So we've got a green up. That's not what we're looking for right now. Oh. Sheesh. Absolutely missed that drop. Out of the way, excuse me. Passing through. this the way? This looks like a forward transition, and yes, purple up. Off we go. So now our quest begins. They ask us to go from Jotunjima to Moka-Magome using only blunt weapons. Only blunt type weapons. So the red hot iron is also a blunt weapon, but I'm not gonna risk using it because of the smoke, the steam AoE damage. I'm just gonna stick purely to physical damage with the metal bat, and I'll also be using the hammer. I'm also going to avoid using the finishing moves, just in case that's something with the quest. It shouldn't, but you never know. I'm picking you up. Veneer plank, a relatively difficult material to come by. There are not very many wood-only floors available. Now, quests like these become much more difficult if you're using weapons that you're not familiar with. Reason being, mastery. So weapons gain a lot of strength through frequent use. The more enemies you defeat with the weapons, the more bonus damage they gain. Now there's a sewer system. There'll be enemies there that need defeating. In these quests, to climb from one floor to another, they do ask to defeat every enemy on the floor that you pass. So the route you take doesn't matter, you just have to start on the floor they tell you, and finish on the floor they tell you as well. Whoops. Oh geez, we're gonna need some healing in a minute. I'm missing all of these important ledges. So they say nothing about us not being allowed to heal. So I'll go ahead and use this healing item. And now is the perfect time to go AFK and make a cup of tea and do whatever. Because this heal takes ages. Still one of the strongest healings in the game. Looks like there's another sewer system. Go ahead and drop down here. Don't resist. I'm just killing you. Don't worry about it. Gonna pick up all the rest chests we come across, just in case there might be blueprints that we haven't got yet. I'm in the process of leveling up all of the characters we're going to be using in the next part of the Let's Play. So I've been leveling the 2 collectors, and I've been leveling the striker. They're almost all at level 50. Some grindy things I've been doing. Going to the beast floor. picking up some golden frogs for quick leveling. Now, I believe your fist weapon counts as blunt as well. I'm not 100% sure. But I wouldn't risk it. Is this a wood-only floor? Jotunjima. Jotunjima. Oh, hello. I'm gonna pick you up. You have to stomp on scorpions twice, and then they get groggy, and then you can pick them up. So we found a regular Sasori, a silver scorpion. Those are extremely rare. Okay, so we've cleared out Jotunjima. I believe we've traversed the whole floor. Always good to open your map and check if you haven't missed any side paths when doing these climbing quests. Now we'll go to the next floor. Clear that one out completely. Now, I don't think you have to defeat the boss on the floor, but I'm not positive, so we'll see. But we just picked up a great attack boost. If we do need to take out the boss, we could pull it off. I'm sure of it. And we've got some healing available to us. So it's important to keep your objective in mind, and also it's important to not put too much on your plate. Don't try to finish too very many quests at the same time, because you'll end up forgetting half of the objectives you set out to accomplish. Lunk. Clumsy me. Another yoga shroom. Now the third hit of combos is usually the strongest hit. And scraps? Sure, I'll take them. Now if Jotunjima is really wood only, and I've missed this fact, then that's kind of silly. Because I thought that material was quite difficult to come by. But Jotunjima, guaranteed wood. Fingers crossed. Home run. Okay, so we found the elevator. It's not adjacent to the boss this time. Just continue clearing the rest of the floor out. Gonna ignore resources for the moment. I'll pick those up after the quest is complete. Not sure if we'll run out of time in this video. This floor is kind of ridiculous with the amount of enemies. I believe we've brought enough weapons to get the quest done though. I think we just swap to our stronger iron bat or metal bat. No, I don't want that. Actually, has anyone dropped leg armor? I'm in need of some pants. Not picking you up. Mouse. Mousey mousey. Sprinter decal for the win. Don't snarl at me. Now, these quests used to be really tough to do. If anyone died not by your hand, the quest would have failed. And that would not be a rare occurrence with the existence of haters. Haters who attack everyone regardless. You would come across a situation where haters would finish off enemies somewhere in the level and your quests would fail. And this would be devastating, terrible for morale, especially since some of these quests require you to traverse quite a few floors. Like I've got a quest in my quest list to take me from floor 1 all the way to floor 10. And imagine failing that somewhere along the way. There's also not very good feedback on whether or not quests have succeeded, well, whether they've failed or not. There's not really good feedback yet in the game for that. So you could fail a quest along the way and just never know about it. Now if the quest complete pop-up doesn't show up, then it's also quite possible that we've missed an enemy somewhere along the way. I think there's still a good deal of the floor to be traversed. Okay, so this is an interesting case because there are also enemies behind the boss in this level. So I'm not 100% on whether or not bosses are required to... Actually, I will break you open, but I'm not going to use this very strong sting shroom on this boss. I will, however, use other sting shrooms. The red sting shrooms. There's a difference between white and red sting shrooms. Okay, look at all my other weapons, see if I can not equip some more blunt weapons. I'll equip that somewhere. There we go. And I think we're good to go. This might be a very short fight. Sting Shroom increases attack by 75%, and we've got pretty strong weapons as is. Vanquished. Alright, the quest is not yet complete, but there is a trap room available to us here. I believe these enemies count towards the defeat all enemies on the floor. One or two more enemies. This should be the last one. Oh no, there's the last one. Okay, the quest is complete. Element limit 2, defeat all enemies, going from Jotunjima to Moka-magome with only using blunt weapons. So that was the quest. And we just got 2 quests done. the blocking 10 perfect guards in a row. Did that with the red hot iron. So I'd say if you're going on a elements only challenge from one floor to another, make sure to bring plenty of weapons, because they'll break after a certain number of hits. How much kill coins do we have on us? 13,000. Well, the escalator isn't that far away. I think I'll just head on back. Money! So these challenging quests, which look like some kind of dungeon, they have like a cave or like a cave in the side of the mountain kind of icon. You pick those up. Those are a good source of death medals throughout the game. But of course you can see the rewards as you're going for the quests. You can tell if it's a reward you need, you can pick up the quest. If it's a reward you don't need, you can ignore the quest and pick it up later.
Uncle Death is a big fan of Rakugo performances. He's really into that kind of Japanese stuff.
So they'll be looking like these dungeon looking quests. There are quite a few death metal quests in here. Mage and tip.
Yeah, sure, I can chat. I just let this guy win the first 2 rounds. Here, I got a tip for you.
Routes are sneaky things. The scenery may change every time you enter the tower, but man, the floors can be complicated too. I mean, sometimes there are no elevators, dead ends and stuff, you know. Think you're stuck, press the down button to check your map. Maybe there's a sneaky area hiding away that you haven't visited yet, so let's the scouring begin. Okay, they're teaching us how to use the map.
See you have a perfect run next time.
Of course. Every time a perfect run. And we've got a couple of death medals already. Great. Well, that was a video about quests. I'm going to be finishing off most quests between videos. So probably the next one will be in the new area, 11 and onwards. See you guys in the next Let's Play Let It Die.